Salutations and welcome to the farm. Well, you know, it is a bitterly cold day out today, and I was thinking some French onion soup would be nice for dinner tonight. But before I can make my French onion soup, I want to make a really nice veggie broth to start it with. So, you know, I did a video a while back when I made my sweet onion jam. I'll put a link to it right up here, a little iCard. And when I was cutting up the onions for my sweet onion jam, I had a couple people say, Country Mama, you sure do waste a lot of your onion. I wouldn't waste so much. I don't waste it. Nothing here on the farm goes to waste. I always find something to do with it. All of the papers, all of the first layer of the onions, all went into a bag. And then I put it in the freezer. I take all of my vegetable scraps, celery, bell peppers, carrots, herbs, parsley, goodness, anything, tomatoes, anything that has just a little bit that gets cut off of an end, onions, it goes in this bag. Now I don't do brassicas, I don't do any type of cabbage or Brussels sprouts or broccoli or cauliflower. Those things I don't put in here. But some of your Trinity vegetables and things like that, those go in here because what I like to do is I like to use my Instant Pot and make a really nice veggie broth, so you see nothing goes to waste. I just fill up my Instant Pot with all of my scraps to start. Now you don't want it to get too full because you want to have room because you're going to build up pressure in here. So don't go all the way to the top. Make sure you leave some room. So we've got this filled up to just below where the fill line is. Set this aside. I've also got some black peppercorns. We're going to put some black peppercorns in here. Maybe just, 10, 15. Toss those in there. And I'm also going to add a couple of bay leaves. Now you don't need to add any salt. Don't add salt. Goodness. Just some pepper and some bay leaves and you're good to go. I'm just going to drop 2 of them in here. Oh, they smell so good. Okay, and now I'm just going to top it off with some water. Now I could get water out of the tap. It's my well water, but I'm not going to trust that for long-term canning. I am going to use some bottled water. You never know how things are out there in that well, and even though we put it through a purifier, when I do my canning, I do use some good bottled water. So we're going to fill this up with that. So we've got this filled up with all of our ingredients. We're going to put the lid on. And we're going to put this to the seal mode. So with our Instant Pot, what we want to do is we want to make sure that it is on pressure cook. Some of your machines will say manual. So pressure cook here, we're going to up our time to 20 minutes. And there we go. We're going to let it start. This is going to pressure cook for 20 minutes. We'll do a natural release and then we'll come back when this is all done. Okay, our broth is done. We've allowed for a natural release at the top of our Instant Pot here. Let's go ahead and take the lid off. I've allowed this to sit for a while. I've had lunch. I've gotten caught up on some of my social media, and I wanted this to cool a little bit. So let's go ahead and take this off. Look how everything has cooked down. All of these beautiful veggies. And you can see at the top of the picture there, look at this beautiful broth that's in there. Beautiful. So now what I like to do, let me move this to the side just a little bit. I have a bowl with a sieve, and what I like to do now is I like to just kind of scoop out all of the actual veggies and put them in the sieve. That's going to allow the broth to flow through. I don't have to, worry about what to do with all of this, and separate all of the veggies from the actual broth. So as I scoop this out, I'm seeing celery, the bay leaves, the onions. And once I put it in the sieve, I just give it a little push with the spoon. Kind of squeeze some of that liquid out. This will go into a compost pile.
Don't feed this to your chickens because of the onions. Onions can be toxic to the chickens, so make sure you don't make that mistake. But you can put it in your compost pile. So what I'll do is I will scoop all of the veggie parts out first. We'll let it strain for a while. I'll take the veggie bits out of the colander here, out of my sieve, and then we will pour the broth through the sieve. That will catch any little remnants of the papers from the garlic or the onions. It will also catch any of those whole peppercorns that we have in here. Okay, I've brought the camera back up because you get the gist of what we're doing here. So I've got my strainer back into the bowl, my little sieve here, and this is very heavy. It's a whole gallon of broth, almost a gallon of broth. So I don't want to pick it up and dump it, but I do have a measuring cup. We're just going to scoop this out of our Instant Pot until it's light enough for me to pour. Look at the color. Look at that beautiful broth. And we're just going to put it through the sieve just to catch anything. Now there are a lot of peppercorns at the bottom, so you do want to make sure that you use a sieve. Now once your broth is done, you can decide what you want to do with it. If you want to put it in a mason jar, you can keep it for probably up to a week in your refrigerator until you use it. But I'm going to can mine today. So my first batch is going to go straight into the canner as broth. My second batch I'll be making into some French onion soup. So I will put the video to that right up here. So I've sterilized my jar in my dishwasher. I've washed them well. They've been sterilized. Got my lids and my rings at the ready, and I'm just going to go ahead and just put some broth. Let me move this so you can see it. Just going to add it to my quart jar. And we usually get about 3 quarts. And a lot of the recipes that I use, if they call for beef broth or chicken broth, I just use my veggie broth. Oh, I'm making a mess. We have about 1-inch headspace. I've got my paper towel here that I have dipped in some white vinegar. Make sure you clean the rim well. We're going to add our lid and add our rings. Just fingertip tight, and these are going to go in my new Nesco pressure canner. It's an electric one, so I will be canning these up, and I'll put that video right here. That'll be in our next video. So thank you so much for joining me as we make this beautiful onion veggie broth. I hope you get a chance to try it. How do you like to make your broth? If you've made your own broth before, make sure you comment below. So until I see you again next time here on the farm, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. I'm going to get these in the canner. Bye-bye.